Hi, fellas. Thank you so much. This is a real honor. Really fired up today. Back where you were. 2008, we had a lineman camp in Bates. And Ryan ended up playing for us for 4 years. Share a story. I'm also a basketball referee. And the day Ryan was going to go to Dartmouth. And it didn't work out. He calls me like on a Monday night, coach, I want to come to Bates. Awesome. I'm fired up. Like, guy's going to be one of the best offensive line I ever played Bates. The next night I had a game at Everly High School. And I'm the referee. He's the starting center. So we come to right in front of the table to our captain's coaches meeting. Hey, Coach Capone, great to see you. And the other little guys go, what the fuck are you cutting? He ended up scoring like 25 points. By the way, he got no fouls. I don't know why. But no, guys, again, a lot of guys here today that are Maine born and bred. Ryan was a Bangor Ram, played for us at Bates, obviously. Had a dream of being a college football coach. And for you younger guys that are in me, if you aspire to do that, this is the guy you want to talk to. He didn't come from a whole hell of a lot. Okay? Made himself a great player, great person, and now it was last year he coached at Greenland, now he's at Bowdoin, but I'm so proud of this guy. You know, just a great young man, and I'm really happy he's coming back to share with you, and it's my pleasure to introduce Ryan Weston for Bowdoin College.
How you doing, fellas? It's good to see you. A lot of familiar faces I've played against some of you. Coach recruited some of your guys. It's great to be back in the state of Maine. I've been away for the past 3 years. Like Coach said, I was a Bangor Ram, went to Bates right in Weston. Coached at Bates right after I graduated. I spent 7 years at Weston University up in Bangor. I left there just a few years ago during the pandemic to take a job out in Ohio at Denison University right in Columbus, and spent the past year at Greenland State down in Louisiana. So it's kind of a full circle moment for me. I'm real honored to engage speaking with you guys today. It's my pleasure. So we'll talk a little bit of O-line fundamentals, and specifically talk about counter. All right, counter for me was a play that I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of success with for multiple reasons. The number one being I haven't had a tight end in my time that at the point of attack could really hold up well enough to consistently run power. All right, at the end of the day, I would imagine that's not an uncommon problem to have. Right? You can get creative, do it a couple different ways, go on balance, all that stuff, I understand. But I didn't think time on task to maneuver a way to be able to run power was worth it in the long run. So counter kind of became our go-to gap scheme play. Right? So I'll take you through kind of our fundamentals, I'll show you some film, a couple different ways that we were able to protect it, got to it a couple different ways, get a couple different looks, some RPO options, and we'll kind of go through it that way. Like I said, it's great to be back. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me at any time, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, a little bit about me and my coaching philosophy. All right, these are kind of the things I will always stand on the table for. The number one thing, fellas, in my opinion in this profession, you have to start off by doing what's right. What's right for your players, what's right for you and your family, just overall do what's right. I think when you wake up in the morning, right, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you did the right thing. No matter what that pertains to football or anything else, you carry that mentality into coaching, right, and it's never going to steer you wrong. That's just a personal belief. That's where I like to start. Respect, two-way street, obviously, as you know, right? Loyalty, your kids will play hard for you. They know that you're with them no matter what, right? I've always succumbed to the saying, players win, coaches lose. My guys know that. I'll take 100% accountability for every loss that we have, right? An offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. At the end of the day, something doesn't go right, that's on me, it's bad coaching, right? Let them go play the game. They got enough on their life. They don't need to feel bad about anything, right? Anything that goes wrong, anything that they do wrong is bad coaching on my part. I didn't prepare them well enough for that moment in order for them to be successful, right? I firmly believe, right? They got to know that you care about them. You have a commitment to it. Radical accountability, right? Radical accountability. That's for them, that's for me, right? That's for them, that's for me. You mess up, you own it, you move on. You go to the next play. Accountability is a big thing. You got to be able to trust each other and enthusiasm. Are they excited to come play football every day, right? Am I excited to coach them every day? I can't have down days, right? They look to us to bring that enthusiasm, and that's exactly what I need to give to them, right? No matter, we've all said it, right? No matter what's going on in your life, in between those white lines, there's nothing else that matters except football. right? Everything, nothing else matters, right? So we should bring the same enthusiasm too, all right? How I evaluate myself and how I evaluate my guys, all right? Do you know what to do? Assignment and alignment. You don't know where to line up? I can't get you on the field, right? You don't know what you're doing? Can I help you know what you're doing, right? I used to have my quick game and my pass game on wristbands for guys that couldn't memorize plays, memorize place things. Do you just not know the formations, right? How can I help my guys get on the field? I need to be able to play my best 11 guys, right? That's my job. If I can't get one of my best 11 guys on the field because he can't memorize a bunch of stuff, maybe I just need to create a little package for him, right? Maybe I need to create some sort of wristband, some sort of cheat sheet special for that player. But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to put the best 11 guys that give me a chance to win the football game on the football field, right? So, do you know what you're doing? Assignment and alignment. No mental errors, no mental mistakes. Assignment and alignment are mental mistakes. Can't happen, right? Can't happen. Are your techniques and fundamentals improving every day? And am I holding those techniques and those fundamentals to the highest standard that I can every day? Right? Am I consistent? Am I consistently preaching the same things every day? Right? They should know the standard. The standard doesn't change. Right? What's Mike Tomlin? Standard is the standard. That's the way it is. Right? Do you perform with effort, energy, and enthusiasm? Right? When it's time to go, right? Are you doing everything you do with 100% effort, 100% energy, and 100% enthusiasm? That has nothing to do with talent. That is non-negotiable. Absolutely non-negotiable. All right? Are you consistent? I can't have guys that are up one day and down the next. Right? What if they're down on a Saturday or a Friday night? Whatever it is. Right? I can't have up and down. You've got to be the same guy on Monday that you are on Saturday, Friday night, whatever it is when you go to compete. I need that same energy in practice, because how you practice is going to be how you play. So at the end of the day, I need you to be consistent. That goes for me as well, right? Ultimate goal, you've got to do it better than anybody else in your room. Take care of your room first, right? Then do it better than anybody else in the division. Anybody else that you're going to play every year, that you're going to see 4 times in your college career, do it better than anybody else in that division. Then do it better than anybody else in the conference, and then do it better than anybody else in the league or the country. Those should be your goals. Start one at a time. Obviously, some people have a higher ceiling than others. That's great. But who do you need to be better than in order for you to reach your full potential? Once again, players and coaches, am I doing it better than anybody in the room? Am I doing it better than anybody in the division, the conference, and in the country? Right? If I'm going to hold my players to these standards, I need to hold myself to them as well. All right? This is what I firmly believe in, fellas. Players over formations over plays. All right? This is what I will always say. Okay? This is the foundation of how I build an offense, how I coach football. I'm a mediocre football coach. Be completely honest with you. I'm really good with people and I'm really good with players. My players will play hard for me because they know I care. Put your best 11 players on the field. Now come up with the best formations that keep those 11 players on the field. Now, let's get to the plays that I can run out of those formations that get the ball to my best players. Right? We all have our favorite plays. I got it. I have mine too. Right? Counter just happens to be one of them, as you can probably guess. Right? We all have our favorite plays. They don't mean anything if your players can't execute them. Right? What was good for one team might not be good for the next. You have to evaluate every team differently and find the formations and the plays and the players that get your best 11 players on the field. All right? Might not be the same thing. Fair enough? All right, let's get into some film. All right, this past year I had the privilege of being down at Grambling State with Coach Jackson. All right, I was there for 12 months. In the span of 12 months, we went through 4 offensive systems. Oh, this is good. All right, we went through 4 offensive systems. We went from Ted White who's now the quarterback's coach for the Houston Texans. All right, he left after 2 months there. After Ted, Art Briles came in. He was with us for 10 days. All right. Ted White was a pro-style West Coast offense. All right. Art Briles, run and shoot, spread them out, go as fast as humanly possible. All right. After Art left, Coach Jackson took back over, back to pro-style, 2 or 3 tight ends on the field, at least 1 at all times. All right. And then after this season, he just turned it over to a guy named Tony Hall, who's at Monroe in Kansas. All right. Who's area. So 4 different systems in the span of a year. All right. The challenge became with our guys within those systems, players, formations, plays, right? What became very clear early on was that our guys believed in counter, all right? For whatever reason, we'll talk counter GT, all right? And we'll talk a little bit counter GY as well, all right? That was what they had their faith in, all right? At the end of the day, our expectations with counter is block down, kick out football. It's that simple. Do we want a double team at the point of attack? Absolutely. We can run it, guarantee it that it's at the 3 shade every time, so we can get that deuce block, all right? When I say deuce, a deuce is a double team for me between the guard and the tackle, all right? A single is between the center and the guard, and a triple, all right, between the tackle and the tight end. All front side of gap scheme, all right? So we want that deuce at the point of attack if we can get it, blocking down to that backside linebacker just like you all already know. If I'm not running at the 3 and we're running at the shade or that 1, my tackle, as he steps down inside the climb, needs to put his eyes through that inside gap to that shade to make sure that shade doesn't spark back to his inside gap. No matter what, at the end of the day, I know running counter is going to be blocked down, kick out football. And that's how I sell it to my guys. You can throw out all the scheme, all the little technical things, and sometimes we don't have time to fully explain to our guys, so we just ended up confusing them, right? At the end of the day, all they need to know, if there's something in your inside gap, or if you're on the front side, you block it down. Don't allow penetration, right? You got a trapper and a wrapper. I got one puller first, kicking out the widest that shows, another guy that's inserted, right? And obviously the most important thing we're gonna do in our scouting is this a team that likes to box when we're pulling, or is this a team that likes to spill, or do they do both? Right? Pretty straightforward stuff. So this was week 3 in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. All right, this is just your basic GY counter. All right, nothing fancy. All right, my tight end gives it away. He's about 3 yards deep in the backfield. Right? Bad coaching. Right? We should want him 1 by 1 off the tackle there. All right, he gets a little deep. Luckily, we hadn't run it too much, not too much film, all right? But that should be giving it away, all right? Backside tackle, stepping down the hinge, right? Making sure there's no penetration inside. Solid steps, my 3 shade stunts away to that inside A gap, right? My play side tackle then goes vertical, all right? Now, my guard does enough to get it done because they've got a charging end here, all right? What I'd like to see him do is get low, all right? We talk about those words that our guys don't know what they mean, right? Maybe we're confusing him. Coach Jackson would say, yeah, he's got a hyperflex that. It's like, what the hell does that freaking mean, all right? Bend his hips, run his feet through contact, right? Explode through contact, be explosive with those hips, and then just don't let your feet stop so you don't get knocked back and close out that hole, right? That's the big thing, all right? He gets knocked back a little bit here, but the guy so far upfield doesn't really matter, right? Tight end does a good job, right? Getting his head in the hole, running his feet and shoulder through the block, and there it is, all right? Play side gap, backer misfits because of the stunt, and there it goes, all right? Obviously this gets pretty special, all right? Back's gonna make one person miss, all right? Watch it from the tight. Buyer beware, what we tell our running backs, right? You have to stay in the hip of that second puller, all right? You cannot go opposite that puller. You go on your own, you're on your own. You better get a first down, all right? What I like about this though, you see the wall that's built right here with our offensive line, right? There's the hole. Backer goes too wide because of the flow, and this thing hits straight downhill. All right, makes one guy miss. There he goes. All right? That's your basic. Basic, as vanilla as it gets, right? Day one GUI count. Right? That's it. All right, now we're going to talk about counter GT. All right? Run this a couple different ways. All right? Here we're running out of the nub formation, right? Still block down, kick out football. But now, right, I have the tight end, so it's going to hit a little bit wider. Biggest coaching point there for the running back, right? I've added a tight end, so the hole's going to be a little bit wider. Biggest coaching point for the tight end, right? Communicate to your backside guard. Do you have a 6-eye? Do you have a 9? Right? A 9 is going to sneak up on that pulling guard a lot quicker than a 7, right? Or a 6-eye. That 6-eye is going to force things a little bit wider because your tight end is going to have to block down at that point of attack because it's block down, kick out football, right? At the end of the day. So, if I've got a 6-eye, my tight end is going to step hard. He's going to pin that down, but it's going to force the guard a gap wider, which also makes the running back hit it a gap wider, right? That 9, he's got to be prepared for quick contact in case as that tight end goes down, right? Those ends have a likelihood to squeeze because they're expecting to be rep because of all the zone read that's going on, right? So that's where we are. Those are the basic communications that's going to happen. We're still blocked down. We're still looking for that deuce, right? If we don't have the deuce and we're running into the 1, right, he's still looking through that inside gap at the hip of that 1 shape to make sure he doesn't spark back across, right? If anything crosses your face as you're going down, immediately step vertical, right, climb and hits whatever in your path. All right? So here it is. This was at Jackson State, Coach Prime, all right, hadn't allowed a touchdown to this point in the season, all right? We gave him a pretty good fight right until we didn't, all right? But it was a pretty good day, all right? But here it is. See the tight end going down, right? He said what we call the 7-7-7. Guys know to get around, right? They bring a stunt, and there it goes. All right? Nothing's changed. All we've done is change the formation, but we're still, at the end of the day, just running a play that our guys believe in, that our guys have faith in. All right? There's the shell. All right, so you can see it as it starts. Tackle climbs to no one because of the stunt, but doesn't turn back out and get in the way of the running back. All right, trust his teammates, trust his footwork. All right, and gets to where he needs to get. All right. Now, this was in Ohio. All right. We're a pistol team in Ohio. So my communication to our running back is a big bucket, be patient, let your 2 pullers clear, right? And then stick right on that inside hip and that inside puller, all right? So now we're running counter GT, right? We don't have a tight end front side, so this thing should hit quicker, all right? In what would traditionally be considered a passing formation, not a spread, 2nd and long, right? Hit it right down in. Same fundamentals, just a different stage. See it, watch him round, see him wrong shoulder here. He's trying to spill it out to that safety, a little straight for place. Guard pins him on the inside. Tackle reads that wrap, right? Reads that pull. Still gets a great kick out on that linebacker, and there's the hole. All right, here it is again. Right? Now, because we're in spread, with counter GT, obviously you're pulling a tackle, so we've got to read that backside end for quarterback run in case he squeezes heavy. Quarterback should always have a good fake. But you should see the same fundamentals over and over. Nothing changes. All right? Right on the hip of that second puller, find his hole, trust. All right? Now, a little different picture, right? I started this talking about players, formations, plays, right? With this team, I had 3 running backs that legitimately could have started for any team in the league, all right? I had a tight end that was really talented, probably one of the fastest kids on my team, about 6'3", 220. Couldn't block a soul, all right? Could not block a soul. Counter a little bit, he'll at least get the win, all right? So we had to come up with, once again, a little bit of creative ways to get to what we like, all right? So here we're in 20, right? 20 was really, became like our 11, all right? Became our 11. We felt like having 2 running backs on the field because the talent we had there was important. But we didn't want to have to change up our scheme, all right? So, all we've done, essentially, right, we moved the tight end into the backfield. Now we're running counter, right? GY counter, but we're running it with a bang, glance, put a bang 8, whatever you want to call it, all right? This is really popular RPO right now, reading the high side safety, all right? He fits down into the run. My receiver knows he's just going to win one-on-one. Quarterback holds it. Easy throw, easy catch. All right? Now, what I don't like here is my backside tackle, right? Cutting the backside defensive end. Bad move on any RPO, right? Bad move on any RPO, all right? That's a bad job on me. Luckily, he gets this guy down. It doesn't hurt us. But it very well could, right? I want those guys up. My guys up front, what I'm telling them, no penetration, right? No penetration. The one guy that can allow a little bit of penetration is the center, just because he could have a far way to travel, but he knows he's got to fight like hell to keep him off that midline, so my quarterback, if he does decide to pull it, can set up quick feet and let it go, all right? The wide receivers read, all right? He's reading that safety. The safety goes down. He doesn't see middle of field close. You can bend it in there if he wants. If he thinks it's rotation, some sort of middle field close, all right? We tell him to keep it skinny, right? Stay away from that middle safety. Tell the quarterback if you think it's dirty in there, you think it's muddy, put it. After you decide to throw it, put it low and away so you can catch it down. Protect him away from that safety, all right? Coach a point for the running back, right? You should be running like he has the ball. Stops in the holes, looking back, right? That's bad coaching. If it's muddy, tell our quarterback, right? Give the ball and less, right? Give the ball and less. If you have any questions about it, give the ball, right? Give the ball. One thing we have to determine as coaches, right, is what are we calling a successful play, right? Is a 5-yard run a successful play? It's boring. Right? You can get bored with it, but is it a successful play? If yes, then why are we going away from it? Run it until they stop it. Right? At the end of the day, I played offensive line, I coached offensive line. Those are the guys that I think at the end of the day have a massive impact on whether or not we win the football game. Right? At the end of the day, I want to report to those guys, and they want to run the football. Right? So if I'm taking that out of their hands and making them play the game backwards and pass that, right? I'm going to hear about it on Sunday. I know it. All right? Keep those guys up front happy, right? Let them play football. So if a 5-yard run is a successful play in the first quarter, it's a successful play in the fourth quarter, and it's body blows all game, right? If I can get to the fourth quarter, still running counter, and now my 5 yards has turned into 7, 7, 15, because nobody wants to tackle my guys anymore because we're running straight downhill, then I've succeeded, right? At the end of the day, you know the toughness of your team, you know their strengths, you know what they like to run, find whatever that is for you. Find whatever it is that you're going to be able to run in the first quarter, and it's going to be better by the fourth, right? For me, that was counter, right? For me, that was counter. There will be a play on here in a little bit. Linebacker refuses, all right? This is fourth quarter, I've run counter at least 20 times, right? Linebacker refuses to take our running back on head on, tries to tackle him from the side for a big game. right? Those are the things that happen just because we determined that we were going to deliver the punishment, right? That's what we always want, all right? Same play now, we're back at 11 though, right? Still got the bang by the single receiver. My quarterback is opening to his RPO, all right? There's my Y. Same play, same bang 8. Right on, easy 15, all right? Easy throw, easy run. My guy's got time, all right? Trying to run a stunt on the backside, tackle does a good job picking up, closing that B gap on the run through, the end trying to spark, makes it so that Will has a long way to travel in order to get to the quarterback, which is what in the long run gives him enough time to set it up and let go of his football. All right? Same play concept, new formation, right? 21, now we're just taking a receiver out. Obviously, our tight end is now attached at the hip, all right? And we're just running a little flat with that tight end, all right? A little flat with the tight end to try and widen that strong side Sam, that strong side linebacker, right? Get him to widen a little bit so that we can hit it right in behind where he widened, all right? Same play, same rules. All that's changed is I've changed my quarterback. He's opening up with the running back now, right? Opening to the side that the counter is going to hit so he can see his RPO read. His read is the flat defender. In this case, right, we're talking about that Sam to see if he expands. If the Sam does not expand with that flow, right, we're just throwing it in the flat, little 3-yard throw, catch and run from one of our best athletes, right? If he does expand, I've now removed one from the box in order to run my best run play, right? Simple read that protects what was my best play, right? Keep it easy on your guys. I will always cater to the offensive line first. We've changed no scheme, right? We've changed no scheme. Secondly, I will cater to the quarterbacks because they've got the most to remember, right? They've got to know their mesh points, where they're opening, where's the play going, what's their audibles, right? What's their protection up front? How much time? What's my read? What's the route, right? We all expect a lot out of our quarterbacks. That's what comes with the position, right? That's why they get all the interviews on Saturdays and Sunday mornings and go be Broncos, right? O-line first so I can protect it. Quarterback second because they know they have the most to remember, all right? I've changed nothing except for my quarterback opening the other way, and I'm opening him to his read so he can see it, all right? Same play, same philosophy, should be able to block it the same, and another little wrinkle for the defense to have to sort through, all right? So you see my tight end, take a step wide, run at and widen just enough to get that Sam to flow, all right? We don't even, my double team doesn't even get all the way back here to that backside linebacker. He gets caught in the wash. Look at the push, all right? Look at the push on that 3-shade. I'd like to see my tackle a little lower. In an ideal world, if we're getting a deuce block, fellas, in an ideal world, I want my guard and my tackle stepping foot to foot at the man that they're going to block, all right? Low. I should have my tackle on the defender's hip. If the tackle can get his shoulder on his hip and drive, that guard will be able to take it over and we'll build that wall that we talked about on that first play, all right? If the tackle getting low is the key to that movement on that block. Your guard's going to make quick contact. If your tackle makes quick contact, he does it at a low angle, so he doesn't have to just wrestle with him, right? Jake Cameron is in here for Austin bench, 4,700 pounds, so he didn't ever care about how low he was, right? But he did a great job for us, right? Fired off the ball every time, all right? But we want that tackle low, on the hip, right? Driving that pile so we can get 3 yards of push, all right? So we can get 3 yards of push and get a first down. Guys, this is 3rd and short, right? Players formation plays. I have the option, I know either my tight end, who I said was one of my best athletes, or my running back, who was an all-region athlete, is going to get this football in 3rd and short, crucial situation, falls in my best player's hands. all right? You'll look at it from the tight. Once again, straight downhill, following that second blocker. It is important, right? I told you I changed the direction of which the quarterback has to open here, right? That places the running back on the side of the two pullers where they're inserting. He has to be extra patient on this, right? We're almost too quick here. He does a good job getting back in line with that second puller, all right? Gets back in line with that second puller, and he's happy to hit it. If he hits this too quick, he is going to run into that second puller, and you're going to feel like a jerk, all right? Same formation, right? Same formation. I like it because it's balanced, right? What you can do, depending on your personnel, right, is you can take this second running back and move him right off to the hip of that tackle and get the same thing, right? I can run this flat, I can run this counter with him right in that hip as well. It was just a matter of where, for me, he was natural. We could do some other stuff with him in the backfield. I'll show you a little bit of it in a few clips. So we liked him in the backfield. But for this purpose, right, now we're running that same thing. You just saw my tight end get out into the flat, reading that flat defender for an easy throw. Now my running back's going to do the same thing, all right? My running back in that hip pocket is going to run a little bit of flat to the boundary, all right, just to make them run that flat defender, all right? See if the safety stays high or stays low. We're running the same play, just running it the other way. Change nothing. Change no scheme. Change no read for my quarterback, right? See the corner, or the inverted safety down there trying to fit it, right? There it is. Still just block down, kick out. And it's a quick read for that quarterback. It should declare, what I really liked about it, right, is running this flat RPO is it's a quick read for the quarterback. It should declare pretty much immediately, right? Because on the snap, that guy's going to go to the flat, right? He should see a little, see a lot. Eyes on what you anticipate the flat defender, right? But you also have to have wide vision, right? So 17 here goes out into the flat. Just makes 44 hesitate just enough. Right downhill. A little loose with that football, but that's another story. All right? The closer I get to the red zone, the more I fall back on that player's formations plays, right? Third down and red zone, situational football, the two most important things that happen in a football game. When game planning is my personal belief, right? Obviously, we all know we want to get the ball to our best players, but in those situations, I think it's even more important, right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged on your job pretty much on how you did on third down and how many points you put up, which generally comes down to how well you did in the red zone, all right? I knew I needed to get the ball to my tight ends or my running back, right? We were very fortunate. This team was 8th in the country in red zone percentage. All right, they were very efficient down there. A big part of that was they knew exactly what was coming. They knew what we were running. All right, they knew exactly what we were going to run. All right, and they knew exactly who each play was designed to go to, and who should get the ball unless they had to read out of it. All right, they did a great job executing. Proud of them for it. But once again, same formation. All right. Now I'm going to run the flat with my tight end. All right, they've seen it a few times, so now we're going to add that same bang right up top. All right, I've heard the philosophy, no RPOs in the red zone, all that. I understand. All right, and I understand why people say that. I just think we've got to be great in our jobs, right, of knowing if we are going to RPO in the red zone, which ones it's got to be, and where it's going to go based on tendency. All right. Once again, fellas, I'll fall back on this, and you guys are going to leave the stock and say he said the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, that's my point, right? Change nothing for my quarterback. Change his eyes from the flat to the high safety, right? Nothing for anybody else changed. Nothing for anybody else changed. Still just block down, kick out football up front. All right? Tackle does a great job. They're showing a little bit of pressure, right? He does a great job capturing it, even though he doesn't keep him inside, he stays on it. My guard does a great job pinning this shade inside. Creates a nice wall. Everybody's so concerned with the counter, and we're able to get this up over the top. Easy throw, easy catch. Just a one-on-one win by our outside wide receiver. Same formation, first and 15. Same thing on the way, running back out into the flat, running the banging behind it. Middle of the field closed, he should keep it skinny. He gets a little too close to that middle field safety here. Quarterback protects him, puts it down and dirty so he doesn't get hit, right? We don't risk any sort of tip ball. We don't risk any sort of fumble after the catch, right? Puts it down low. He's able to catch it and get down, put us in second and short. Right? Never run by color. All right? He goes to pin it. Tackle gets around. All right? Tackle goes too wide. Always make sure, right? If they're a wrong arm team, that second puller, not tackle, tight end, right? That second puller's got to stay tight to that hip. He's really looking just to create a wall off that upfield hip of the guard, right? To pin this backer right inside, because our read is here for the flat, and then run the bang right in behind it, all right? Watch the tackle get on the hip here. Get right over, climbs up to that back, upfield backer. This is the space I'm talking about for my Y, right? We pinned here. My Y should come right around, create this wall. 4 never should have been able to get in this space. All right, here it is going to the flat. Second and short. All right, second and short. Ball my playmakers to get a first down. All right. Nobody in the flat, easy pitch and catch. 6 yards, 2-yard throw. Linebacker steps up, right? Because we run counter all day. Safety's got a lot of ground to cover. Easy throw for my quarterback. Easy catch for one of my best players with a chance to catch and run. Potentially break a tackle. All right. This is also a great RPO for power, fellas. If you run power out of two-back stuff, you can read that same flat, get to the same points. All right, here's what I was talking about earlier, fellas, on body blows. All right, watch this. All right, you've seen at least 5 clips of us running counter against this football team, right? My past few clips, all right? That's not the intention and level of violence that any of you have an inside linebacker that you want to play and beat the running back in the hole, all right? At the end of the day, we can say what you want. He didn't want to take it head on, right? And that's a body blow that leads to a big play for our football team. All right? And once again, all together, right? Same formation, same team. We've thrown the flat against them, right? We've thrown the bang, we've run the counter, and now we're coming back to it because that high safety's now getting a little nosy because he's sick of seeing counter come downhill. We're able to throw it right in behind, right? The shoelace away from breaking a big one.
Coach, is this is obviously on the cue, or is this a tag with the throw? That's safety.
But he read, okay, so, yeah, so this is tagged with an RPO read. You're saying that safety didn't come down until late. I'm saying he was pre-aligned down because they were cover 3, right? So cover 3, you always have the option because somebody's got to rotate. Now, like I said, your options are that outside bang eight, whatever you want to call it, that glance. He's either got to keep it skinny, or he's got to trust his quarterback to keep him down and keep him away from that high safety. So as your outside receiver is running that route, right, he's going to have eyes to see if it's a quarter shell, their safety's in the fit, and he's just getting right in behind them, or they're rotating, right, that middle of the field is now closing, and he's got to stay away from that middle safety. Does that make sense? All right? A little different scheme, right? Still talking, all right? That same counter mentality up front, right? I told you I always catered to the O-line first, all right? So this was tagged as our counter, all right? Bash, right? Running that bash scheme. Reading that outside end, right? With cross flow action, right? If he widens, I'm running Q counter, right? He sits, I'm running sweep. In this case, I'm in two backs, so I get sweep with a lead blocker out in front to get on the edge, right? Same blocking scheme up front, still that same block down, kick out football mentality for my guys up front. All I have to change is the mesh point and the quarterback eyes, right? So GT counter going back the other way. The one person this is really hard on that I will admit, right, is for the center, right? Because of that cross flow action, he can't just let that guy get as deep in the backfield as he wants and just stay on. He's got to be able to stop a little bit of penetration, right, and keep him in front, all right? But this gets us out to the perimeter, right, out of that same formation, one of our favorite formations. My running back here, right, I'm going to tell him, we don't do a great job here, right? I'm going to tell him, peak scrape, then alley, all right? So anytime we arc anybody, or you're coming out of the backfield to lead in the alley, peak the scraping linebacker, peak the scraping inside linebacker, and then block the alley. The linebacker is the most important one. We don't get him here, all right? Still end up with a good play. But he should be going eyes downhill right now. His eyes should be here first to check for this, right? And then to the alley defender. He goes right for the alley. Running back's fortunately able to get the edge, all right? Up front so you can see the read. All right? That end squeezes. Quarterback does a good job, right? He sees him close down, he knows we've got the edge. We're able to get to the perimeter. All right? Same play. Same play. All right? This time my quarterback's able to keep it. I'll let you see the tight here. Defensive end widens out, quarterback fits right inside. All right? All right? It's a heck of a play. Well, good news was I wasn't going to show any more film, and you guys don't really want to look at a PowerPoint anyway. All right? Guys, I told you at the beginning it's a pleasure to be back in the state of Maine, and I mean every bit of it. My email, I had it on the last slide, I'll give it to you right now, right? R.Weston, W-E-S-T-O-N, at bowdoin.edu. all right? My cell phone number is 207-299-0914. Email me or call me anytime. We're in the office, we don't have spring football, right? So if you want to come by and talk shop, it'd be a great part of my day, I can promise you that, all right? Talking football is always good, especially in this state, all right? It holds a dear place to my heart. We are having, most of you should, if you're a head coach, you should have gotten an email from me about your class of 24s. We are having a camp at Bowdoin College on April 16th. I would love to see a bunch of Maine guys in attendance. Shameless plug there, I'll admit it, all right? But football is a sport that I'm very passionate about. It's done a lot for me, it's done a lot for my life, right? And I came up in this state, all right? I would love to see it continue to grow in this state. You guys are doing a phenomenal job, all right? I'm always proud to say I'm from the state of Maine, even though I usually get when I'm not in this state, all right? But I would love to see you. I would love to see you guys there. Please text, call, email, whatever you got to do. If there's any way I can help, do not hesitate to reach out. Are there any questions? Fellas, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on.